As you might know, we're doing lots of improvements to the house at the moment, and this is our Firestone air chief. It's quite dilapidated. The cats used to use it as a scratching post. So the idea is to get it running, inspect the back. It's a tube valve based thing from about the 1950s, and I'll find out some more information, hopefully a circuit diagram somewhere, and then clean this up and see if it works. It's not been used for a good 10 years, somewhere like that. So wish me luck. The idea is to get it running, to replace the burlap stuff on the front and tidy it up and listen to the thing. Right, I've just found out it's the Rhapsody model from 1947. So that makes it 71 years old. This here is the loop antenna, apparently, in a blue box. Anyway, first job, clean all that out. I was online trying to find a circuit diagram. There's one right there. Tube locations anyway. Right, so the next thing is that there are little screws in this back part, so I'm going to take this off and see what the circuit looks like. Alright, and I've now opened the back of it. Plenty of cobwebs going on. And there's the main circuit with the tubes and such. All have to be cleaned up. There are records here by such persons as Bill Cosby, and I think it has got a record player in it somewhere then. So the front pulls forwards, that needs a new burlap on the front, but yeah, so it's got a record player as well. Plenty of records there. Well, this is a bit bizarre. I can pull the front forward, but in fact all we've got is a storage area. There is no record player inside. And there's another question answered. There is only actually one cord coming out of it. The other one I found is an extension lead. Right, now this bit is quite important to the whole thing, because I'm not going to risk electrocution and such. If that's in focus at all, you can see how damaged this lead is, and plus of course the end's all messed up, but all the way down it is cracked, and at best we'd get the fuse blowing in the house, but could also cause a fire at some point. So what I'm thinking is, rather than replace it with a brand new one though, this extension appears to be of a similar vintage, but is in much better condition. It was built better back in the day. There's no cracks and things in it. So what I'm going to do is clean this up with soapy water, leave that to dry, and I'm going to splice the old cord, because this one's actually alright to a certain point. It's whenever it must have come out from the cabinet, and hopefully get the join to be about there and covered. That's the safest thing to do. Now here's a tip if you're ever splicing, now that I've cleaned this up, by the way, this spare extension, that is to cut the two wires at different lengths, such that they can never touch anyway and cause a short. So even though I'm going to be soldering the two connections together with the older wire, and then putting electrical tape round and then glue, super glue, to make sure that that doesn't come away, even if it did, then the wires will never touch if they're those two different lengths. And there we go, that's one repaired and spliced mains cord. So what I'm going to do now is put it through that hole there and do a little more cleaning on this area here, and then plug it in and see what happens. Fingers crossed. Moment of truth. So let's plug it in. Well, the on-off switch worked. Let's go around the front. Is it doing anything? Oh, yes. Oh. So looking around, it's a filter cap problem. I'm going to have to take this whole thing out and replace what I can. I've also found something else out. If I lift this up here, this piece of wood, Yeah, it did used to have a record player in there, but it's been taken out. Now I do know that my wife's grandparents are the original owners of this, so I'm just quite surprised to see that missing. I'm not sure what the heck will have happened. Anyway, I'll get that out and see what I can replace. Well, now it's out of here, I guess I can change these, there's a lot of dust still. I can change these bulbs out. There's one on either side. No idea if I've got any of that type. I don't think it'd be a good idea to use LEDs. Anyway, I haven't seen under here yet, so I don't want to put it on its back or anything either. I'll get this arranged properly. Oh, okay, we've got wax capacitors. Well, there's the job ahead. Okay, at this point I'm kind of confused because I haven't got a circuit diagram except the one that's inside the cabinet. And I'm thinking well, I'm looking for the filter cap. The big filter cap things. There's supposed to be 3, I believe, usually in these. And that's the can there on the right, I think, because all the rest seem to be tubes. Right, so studying the diagram, this thing in the top right, underneath the resistor, which will be the 100 ohms, is containing the 2 faulty capacitors, and it is that silver thing I was pointing at earlier. So unfortunately I was right. So what I'm going to do though is clip off. I'm going to do a temporary fix hopefully so my wife can listen to the radio for Christmas carols tomorrow. That's the plan. I'm going to clip the leads, keep them all in the same places, but I'm going to attach 2 capacitors, new ones, but they are 100 UF. They're smoothing, so they should be fine at 100 UF. And that's just going to be temporary. And then what I'll do is I'll order the correct ones and I'll replace the ones that are inside the can and do things properly in the future. And there we are. It's not exactly pretty, but it is to the correct diagram with the 2 caps and then the 100 ohms across. So I'll just make sure that those wires are as far away as possible from anything else and give it a try. So there we go, it's back in. I've plugged in the speaker, put the things on the front, and this waiting is just it's all fingers crossed. Oh, it's not making the noise. Oh. Ho ho. Ho ho. There's the tone. Looking for anyone with a pulse. We'll just call him Dave. Dave? Head of accounting. Some of the applicants include lion tamers. Have you met there you go. Heck of a bodge, but it means that the wife will be able to listen to Christmas carols hopefully on the old radio here like she used to do with her daughter many years ago. And that's the main thing. Wow, and I'll fix it up properly. I'll order the correct capacitors and do it properly. Wow. Alright, thanks for watching.